Which Disney princess is Daenerys Targaryen? Great question. Before we can answer that, we have to figure out her personality type in a Myers-Briggs test. You regularly make new friends. Dany has quite a knack, actually, I think, for making allies, honestly. Like, that's one of her big personality traits, I feel like, is being able to make friends and make allies, like, wherever she goes. She's, like, very kind, but also commanding, really intuitive, and, like, wise for her age. So I feel like she, like, a lot of people, like, kind of gravitate towards her. She had Jorah, like, riding her. Called Drogo, I mean, he started to, like, actually fall in love with her, and that's, like, their cultures were just so different. Missandei, Grey Worm, Sir Barristan, like, I would actually, like, highly agree with this. You spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. I feel like that's super not true. I don't think she is random at all. She's very organized, very targeted. She's like, I want the throne. Like, this is all I'm thinking about. She's very similar to, like, how Aegon and Jaehaerys were, now that I'm reading Fire and Blood, and their goals. I think she would disagree with this. Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. Now, I think this is for the most part not true, but I don't think it's like a strong disagree. She definitely feels for people. Remember that scene where she was going to Marine for the first time and she saw all the slaves that they had strung up at each mile marker, and she was like, yo, what the hell is going on here, man? She's definitely empathetic. She can be very, like, fierce, especially if she's made someone cry. She's not gonna be like, you know. I would disagree, but maybe like here or here. Like, this is like a strong disagree, this is like a weak disagree, this is like a regular disagree. I'm gonna do a regular disagree. You often make a backup plan for a backup plan. That's a tough one. She definitely thinks ahead. The episode where she gets the Unsullied, well, one, she doesn't tell the master or whatever that she can speak Valyrian. Two, she doesn't tell her own, like, personal people that she can speak Valyrian, and she uses that to her advantage. And three, she backstabs him by giving her Drogon, her dragon, and then being like, nah, I'm actually just gonna kill all of you. So, I don't know if though, I mean, she definitely thinks ahead. I'm gonna go with weak agree. I don't know if she thinks like super duper far, like back, like gotta have all these backup plans. I think she more just has like plans and she's like good at executing them. So I'm gonna go with an agree. You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. I feel like that's just like a hard agree. There's so many situations she's in that are very deadly to her or many people around her, and she is still able to compose herself. I'm thinking of that scene where she's trying to get in the car. Her whole people are all dying, and she's like, we're all gonna die, and da-da-da-da-da. And she's able to compose herself enough. She doesn't do a great job. Maybe that's an argument against it, because she does get really upset when they say no. But at first, she's really calm. You know, actually, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, hold on. Maybe it's more like that. And as the seasons go on, she is a little more temperamental. Sentimental. I'm very tempted to say absolutely not, but, well, okay, she has the 3 dragon eggs, and she keeps them with her. They're gifts. This one's tough, actually. I lean towards maybe like a little bit agree. Actually, I'm gonna, Let's think about things that she's sentimental towards. She's sentimental towards Drogo. She still thinks of him for a long time. She kept the dragon eggs and like kept like touching them and stuff like that. She doesn't keep anything from her brother. I mean, in a way, like she always thinks of like Rhaegar and stuff like that. I don't know. This is tough. Let's go with this. Actually, might just be a neutral. Let's go with neutral. I think we're gonna do a little cop out and do a neutral. You're more inclined to follow your head than your heart. Is her head or her heart telling her to go to Westeros? Okay, let's do it like this. She actually loved Dario, I believe, and she gave up on him. Or she didn't give up on him, but she let Dario go because she wanted the throne so bad. So I think there's a strong agree on the follow head than heart. I think her head is telling her go to Westeros, get the Iron Throne. I would say partially heart because she feels like she is owed to her, kind of. So let's go with heart agree there. You enjoy participating in group activities. I would say heart agree. She does everything in a group, right? She never does anything alone. Is ruling a kingdom not a group activity? Come on. You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending. I've never seen her read a single book. And movies don't exist, so we're hard disagreeing there. Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things that... You're prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse. I think that's a pretty good disagree. Now, maybe not super strong disagree, but I think that's a good disagree. I mean, she's very worried about Drogo. She was worried about Marine for a long time. She worries about things going bad, but she's confident that she can do it is the thing. So I'm going to do a regular disagree, or maybe even a light disagree. I don't think she's super a worrying person. So let's go regular disagree. I think that's fair. You have... This is like the most hard disagree thing ever. You think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on their feelings. I think Daenerys is empathetic, like I said. I think she sees the value of feelings. So I think she would kind of agree with that, to be honest. Let's go with a regular agree. You prefer to do chores before allowing yourself to relax. I actually think she kind of would. She's not lazy. She's the opposite of lazy. I feel like she never relaxes. She wants to get stuff done all the time. I'm gonna hard agree on that. Your mood can change very quickly. Now, this one's interesting because she is a Targaryen, which means that she is an incest baby, which means that her mood can be very fickle sometimes. And as the show goes on, it becomes very much more apparent. I'm not taking in that last season at all about how her personality is, because if we're taking in season 8, I'm agree. It's one of these two, because obviously she literally killed so many people. But I'm kind of not considering that as much. But I do think her mood can change rather quickly sometimes. Think the Karth example I brought up earlier, she went from kind and like nice to like very angry. And I think she does that kind of throughout the series sometimes. I don't think she would agree with this, but I think everyone else can see that, yeah, she definitely can change very quickly. I'm going to light agree. You find it easy to empathize with the person whose experiences are very different from yours. I think that's a pretty... I mean, I want to say hard agree because of the scene that I mentioned before where she was like giving the slaves who were like strung up water and stuff like that. But she was low-key a slave herself. Like she was basically sold off. I think that she definitely agrees. She's seen like all kinds of people in all kinds of bad situations, and she always wants to help them. So I think this is a hard agree. You rarely second guess the choices that you've made. I'm gonna almost hard agree. She becomes a little bit less confident as she gets a little bit more wise, and she starts relying a little bit more on her counsel a little bit more. I think she does tend to second guess herself a little bit more once she gets to Marines. Let's go with agree. After a long and exhausting week, a lively social event is just what you need. I think no. I think it's a disagree. I don't think she's that extroverted. I think she likes having people around her, but I think she still likes having like kind of alone time. Like there's a scene where she's like taking a bath with Missandei and they're just like chilling, you know? So we'll do a medium disagree on this one. You have to spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own. I think that's pretty true, but not, I mean, she's super empathetic, I think. Maybe I just agree with this, or she would just agree, because like there's a lot of people who think that she shouldn't be on the throne, but she's like, no, I'll do better. I'll do better. I'll do the best that you can, in fact. But I do think she does spend time thinking about other people's perspectives. Marine, again, teaches her a lot about like respecting that culture and stuff like that. She was like, oh, no more fighting pits. And then the guy, I forget his name, but he was like, oh no, you should keep this or else the people are going to be really mad. And she was like, no, this is like super stupid. And he's like, no, but the people are going to be really mad. And she's like, fine. Like, I guess it kind of makes sense. So, yeah, I think actually I would agree with that. In your social circle, you are often the one who contacts your friends and initiates activities. I feel like, yeah, right? I feel like this is true. Like, she probably agrees with this. Like, when I think of her being a queen, she's going to be like, call my banners. Call all my banners. Like, she's the one, like, reaching out and calling people. I feel like she would, right? Yeah, okay, I feel like this is an agree. She's the one going out and getting people to come to her side to help her become queen. She's the one, like, reaching out to people. You're still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. That's a tough one. I feel like it's on the disagree side. I don't think she cares a ton about her past mistakes. She's definitely one to move forward and just try to make her mistakes better. But she was kind of pretentious at one point where she was a bit overconfident. But she kind of got better. Let's go with disagree. Your emotions control you more than you control them. I think that she would think hard disagree. I think she would think hard disagree. What we know about her is that I think it's a medium disagree. Obviously, as the seasons go on, season 8, like, her emotions obviously control her completely. But again, I'm not really considering those because that's when the show gets very weird. So kind of up until like season 5, 6, stuff like that. I don't think she's at that point she's let her emotions control her that much. She lets Dario go. She really loves him, and she's like, I'm gonna just let you go so I can go get on the throne. And I feel like that's thinking with her head. I'm probably gonna go disagree here. Maybe a light disagree, because an example like when she was in Karth or trying to get into Karth and she was like, I'm Daenerys, I will bring you much riches and blah 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 blah, and they were like, get out of here, kid. And she was like, what the fuck? I think a light disagree here is fair. I mean, occasionally she just likes burning people alive. Hey, you have your hobbies, I have mine. You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling atmospheres than quiet, intimate places. I'm gonna say agree. I think she does like her quieter kind of places when she's like at home with the homies kind of thing, but I mean, she's trying to rule a kingdom. Like, she's gonna be in like King's fucking Landing, which is like the biggest city in the world or some shit. Yeah, we're gonna go with regular agree, I think. You often feel overwhelmed. I feel like this is pretty hard to disagree. I don't think she gets overwhelmed that easy. If you don't feel overwhelmed when you're trying to take over an entire nation, what can you really get overwhelmed about? You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. I'm gonna light agree with this. I don't think she super cares about following every single step. I think she's like, whatever it takes to get me there. If I have to weasel my way around and like kind of do stuff, as long as I'm kind of following my core like principles, I'm gonna light agree, because I think she does typically try to follow like steps to do things, because she's like, first I need to gather an army, then I need to get ships, and then I need to cross the sea, and then I need to kill the usurper, and then I need to like start ruling. Like, so let's go light agree, but she's fine with things going kind of off script. I think that's fair. Yeah, you're very intrigued by things labeled as controversial. I don't know how to answer this, actually. That's a tough one. Skip. Let's go light agree, but I don't think she's like, ooh yeah, give me the controversy. You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more. Oh, well, okay, actually, hold on. I was gonna say hard disagree, but it depends on what the opportunity is. If it's the throne, she would not. Absolutely not. If it's other stuff, maybe. Let's go light agree. I don't know if this is kind of a hard one. These are getting hard. You feel confident that things will work out for you. This is just the culmination of Dany. She hard fucking believes that she's gonna be on the fucking throne. There's just no doubt in her mind. Let's see the results. Okay, I think I did a pretty good job then. Her personality type is executive. Executives are excellent organizers, unsurpassed at managing things or people. I think that is pretty fucking fitting. Wow. Extroverted. Extroverted individuals readily enjoy group activities and value social interaction. They tend to be outwardly enthusiastic and express their excitement. I think that's true. Observant. Observant individuals are pragmatic and down to earth. They tend to have strong focus on what is happening or very likely to happen. Yo, tell me I didn't do a good job here. Thinking. A little bit more thinking than feeling. Thinking individuals focus on objectivity and rationality, often dismissing emotions in favor of logic. They tend to see effectiveness as more important than social harmony. I'm not sure about that one. That was tough, and I think it shows. 58 to 42. Like, she's kinda leaning on either side. I might put her a little bit more towards feeling. It's very hard to say. I think that's one of the things Dany struggles with. Like, she has lots of feelings and stuff, but she also wants to be like very rational. Judging individuals are decisive, thorough, and highly organized. They value clarity, predictability, and closure, preferring structure and planning to spontaneity. I think that's just true. Assertive individuals are self-assured, even-tempered, and resistant to stress. They refuse to worry too much and tend to be self-confident when striving to achieve goals. Beautiful. Perfect. Good order is the foundation of all things. I think that she would pretty much agree with that. Sounds very much like Tywin. Executives are representatives of tradition and order, utilizing their understanding of what is right, wrong, and socially acceptable to bring families and communities together. Embracing the values of honesty, dedication, and dignity, people with the executive personality type are valued for their clear advice and guidance, and they happily lead the way on difficult paths. Taking pride in bringing people together, executives often take on roles as community organizers, working hard to bring everyone together in celebration of cherished local events or in defense of the traditional values that hold families and communities together. I mean, that's exactly what happened in Marine. I think that's good. We got Judge Judy in there. I think we did great. We gotta figure out a little bit more about her. So before we get to the Disney Princess quiz, let's see where she ends up on a moral alignment chart. What do y'all think that Dany is gonna be on the morality scale? So we know that she's an ENTJ. What would she be on the alignment scale? I think she has to be lawful, right? I would put her lawful neutral / lawful evil, I think. I'm often worried that my actions are deserving of criticism. Hard disagree, I think. I don't think she thinks her actions are deserving of criticism or is worried about that. She's like, I know what's right. I often have tender, concerned feelings for people who are less fortunate. I think that's true, actually. I think that's actually really true. I trick and con people if it's in my interest to do so. Okay, I would say hard disagree, but she literally tricked and conned the guy who was in charge, the master in charge of the Unsullied. So actually, I might go with agree. I don't think she does that all the time. And she was also fine with Dario doing that same thing to the people that he was with. But I don't think she would like make that like a core trait of hers. I think that's a good it has to be at least agree. I frighten others to get what I want. That has to be an agree. That has to be agree. She's gonna be evil, isn't she? Even if I were trying very hard to sell something, I wouldn't lie to get my way. I mean, I almost want to hard disagree. Because again, the stuff that she pulled in Astaport, I mean, she straight up lied the entire time. And she did not care. So yeah, I would just say hard disagree. I'm not upset as others when someone dies. It's a hard one. I think it's a disagree though. I'm not as upset as others. I mean, especially if they're close to her. I think Quoto or Quolo, something like that. One of the people in her horde that stuck with her, he got decapitated and his head was sent back to her. She was sad about it. Hard. This was kind of hard. I'm gonna go disagree. I often forgive those who have wronged me, even if they do not deserve it. She's actually not very forgiving, I think. Hey, okay, hold on. Am I wrong about that? Are there people she's forgiven? She forgave Jorah, and that was a huge betrayal. Huge. So maybe I'm actually wrong. She isn't very forgiving. She did forgive Jorah. I mean, this gets into the part where the story gets kind of weird in the show. She also forgave Tyrion. I mean, she hates the Lannisters, and she, like, forgave his, like, family. She didn't forgive Tyrion, really. She had nothing against him. Yeah, that's fair. She didn't have anything personal against him. You're right. You're right. All right, I'm down. Let's go hard disagree. Because I think the one thing that's convincing me is that no one really betrays her. Because they definitely know they will die. I feel just fine doing whatever I can to succeed. I mean, I think that's just pretty much hard agree. She won't enslave people. That's the only thing she won't do. I only obey those laws and rules that seem sensible to me. I think that's just pretty true. That's actually her whole thing. She wants to break the wheel. That's literally like, I want to get rid of the laws that suck. And I want to make a new one. Generally speaking, I'd rather buy myself a little something extra than donate to charity. Nah. I mean, even though she's selfish and wanting to get to the throne, I think, she's also selfless and wanting to help the realm. Maybe that is a hard disagree. I don't know. Let's just go with disagree for now. I have an excessive need for stimulation and am prone to boredom. I probably agree, though. Does Danny have ADHD? Excessive need for stimulation? I don't know if it's excessive. Because I think her goals are just so lofty. Like, when your goal is to take over the world, or at least like a large nation, things are gonna seem boring. Like, other things are gonna seem boring. Like, going to work, like, that's probably gonna seem pretty boring. I mean, going to work is boring. But, like, you know, her goal is so high that it, like, even high goals probably are kind of boring. This is a hard question to answer, but let's go with agree. I do what I want, and I do not feel particularly obliged to anyone. Yep. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh my, this is very different than what I thought. What is that? Chaotic good? That's interesting. I was definitely thinking of a lawful. I was very wrong. I thought lawful evil or lawful neutral. You're 35% good. That sounds terrible. You're 35% good. People who are chaotic good are strong individualists. That is super true about her. Marked by a streak of benevolence. They believe in the greater good and being kind to others, but have little use for laws and regulations. I wouldn't say little use, but she wants to make her own. Their actions are guided by their own moral compass, which, although benevolent, may not always align with the rest of society. That is her, 100%. They place a high value on freedom, not only for themselves, but for others as well. Chaotic good individuals intend to do what is right, but their methods are generally disorganized. I wouldn't say disorganized. And may lead to conflict, that's true, when they come into contact with those who prefer extensive organization and planning. Not that part, maybe not so much. I wouldn't say her, yeah, this part I'm not quite sure about. You'd say she is disorganized? Her methods are disorganized? Really? I mean, I feel like she has a plan, but it just usually doesn't go according to plan. Like, a lot of things go wrong. Her entire plan is somehow get an army and shit. That's true. It's a very vague plan. You're right. That is I guess I interpreted that as a plan, but it's a very vague plan. It's a drawing of a plan. Yeah, that's kind of true. That's fair. Because if you have a drawing of a plan, at least you have something, right? Rather than just like some random shit like thrown around. Now we can take the most important quiz. My favorite weekend activity is curling up with a book. No, not for Daenerys. Exploring the farmer's market, cooking, putting my feet up, anything outside, walk in the woods, alone time, hanging with friends. What does Daenerys do for fun? I feel like hanging with friends. She spends a lot of time with like her girlfriends. Like, I feel like hanging with friends is probably a good bet. The animal who will lead my inevitable royal parade is if a dragon isn't on here. It's just, I'm not even reading anything else. It's just a dragon. The most important quality I look for in a prince. Ooh. Charm, kindness, dreaminess, humor, honor, maybe. Personality. Smolder? What the fuck is smolder? This like, I don't need a prince way. I feel like she actually does not give a shit about having a prince or a king or anything like that. Which of these outfit elements are you most likely to wear? Sweats, no. A dress. She wears dresses all the time. I think it's just dress. It's just dress. My favorite place to burst into song. Oh, man. It just has to be I don't sing. My favorite hairstyle is a stylish bob. Don't know what that is. Bob hairstyle. Don't get TOS, please. You know what a bob is? Is this? I need females in the chat. I just call this short hair. I literally just call this short hair. She does a lot of braids. She does a lot of braids. Is it a Dothraki thing? They wear a braid for... That's why our braids are more complex. Really? Is that actually why? I never thought about that actually. Like, cause yeah, in this scene, that is super complex. A little homage. That's crazy. I like that. High ponytail, long bang. Does she have bangs? Actually, she doesn't do bangs. She doesn't do bangs at all. So no bangs. Sleek and straight. No, how about a top knot? Practical. I actually think it's not very practical. Let's do long. Someday I want to be a baker, a business owner. That's close to a queen. A fashion designer, a zoologist, a singer, a writer, an athlete, a CEO. Okay, wait, a CEO or a business owner? I feel like a CEO. In one word, my style is fun, classic, timeless, retro, bohemian, vintage, functional, or colorful. I think definitely not colorful. She actually pretty much just wears like white or black. Or blue, so probably not that. I feel like, nah, not class. It's actually more like modern. Bohemian fashion. This is very important, by the way. This is really critical to understanding Daenerys. Nah, this doesn't look like her at all. What's the difference between vintage and retro? I thought they were the same thing. Basically, vintage denotes something that is authentic from an era at least 20 years ago, while retro is new items that have been made to imitate items of the past. Let's go vintage, I guess? I don't know. So let's go vintage. I live in a castle. I mean, that's just it. The Red Keep, is that a castle? Oh God, that's a castle. That's a castle. It's 4 p.m. That means it's time to hit the gym, take a stroll, have tea, work on my chess game, see what my friends are up to, have a snack, take a nap, do my chores. I feel like let's take a nap. She needs rest. She needs her beauty sleep. My favorite color out of the following. Okay, I'm inclined to say red because of the Targaryen ancestry. But man, she does wear blue. Like a lot. Okay, maybe she doesn't. Let's go with red. You're Vanellope Von Sweets. What? You're strong, fun, and an absolute legend on the racetrack. You're always up for an adventure, and you approach every challenge with positivity and curiosity. You're our hero. Now we know Dany's a great princess, but how good of a mom is she? I answered that question in this video here by using a tier list.